Hey guys, welcome back to Brandon and the Fat Man. I am Brandon. I am glad to see you guys. I hope you've been enjoying these videos. This is going to be part 5 of the, part 4 of the How Not to Be Fat series, part 2 of the portion of that talking about goals. So last video we talked about weight loss goals and the positives and the negatives of that. Today we're going to talk about our physical goals and what that means and how much I think those are actually better to focus on than the weight loss itself. So we're going to get into that right away. Hey guys, again, I'm so glad you're here with me. I'm so glad you're joining me for these. I do want to say I'm going to try to get through this correctly. I've filmed this video and as a combination with the other one and whatever. I forgot to hit record this last time, and I did the entire thing, and I thought I was going to be happy with the output of it, the outcome of it. But I didn't record it. I just looked at my phone, and because I'm just using my phone because I don't have a nice fancy camera, but I'm just using my phone and I completely forgot. So I'm sorry for that. I didn't have to tell you that. I shouldn't have told you that, but here we are. So I just want to talk about physical goals. I want to share with you guys physical goals and why I think they're more important than the scale and the numbers on that. So I want to share with you a couple of different things, and I'll start with going through some of my goals. I want to tell you that there's small goals and there's large goals. And I think it's important to have both. There's long-term goals that you want to reach, and there's ones in the middle too that you'll hit here and there. And then there's ones that you can hit on a regular basis that I think are good to have. Things like that could be, when I first started walking, I started walking at 2 miles. Well, I wanted to get to 3. I wanted to get to 4. I wanted to get to 5. So just increasing that. And you can do it in smaller steps than that, just depending on where you are in your journey. If you want to, if you're doing laps per se in the living room or from the living room to the bedroom and back, if that's what you can do, and you can do one and then you have to rest, great, do that one and rest and do it. Get up and do it again later, and get up and do it again later, and try to set a goal of how many in a day that you can do. Not necessarily how many at one time, because if you can only do one at a time, then that's all you can do right now. Get up and you do the one and come back. And if you get 4 that day, then try to make sure you do 4 the next day, and then try the next time to do 5. Not again, you don't have to do multiple at once, but then eventually by a week or 2 or 3, maybe you'll be able to do 2 at a time. And eventually maybe you'll be able to double that number and then double that number and just keep it going. So those are the small goal type things that you can do. And then you can move it on to the medium type goals. For me, a medium goal is I want to do a 5K. I used to do them all the time. And I loved doing 5Ks. And I can walk a 5K because I walk over 3 miles. I usually I walk 4 to 5 miles a day. And my next goal is to walk 5 consistently. I want to go do a 5K, but walk and run. And so I want to get to that point where I'm walking and running a 5K. And then my next goal for 5Ks then would be to run the entire time and not walk at all. And then I've got a long-term goal of doing a muddy obstacle course, a Tough Mudder, that is 10 miles long. So I've done several that were 5Ks, 3.1 miles, but I've never done one that's a 10-mile Tough Mudder, and I want to do, or 10-mile muddy obstacle course, and I want to do one of those. I also want to share, and not, achievement goals that are necessarily like that, but some of the smaller things, and I'll share with you. I don't have these written down, but some of these things that help me recognize that something's working. When I go take my classes for Chunjito, which is the martial arts that I do. I told you before I'm in martial arts, and I'll go into greater detail of what I take, why I think it's a good fit for me, and some of that stuff at another time in another video. But one of the first thing that we do each class, physically, is stretch. Of course, you want to stretch and get ready. But I hate stretching. Grandmaster, I know you watch the videos. I hope you don't get bothered by that. I know you won't, but I hate stretching. I've always have. And especially when I've been in class, I've hated stretching because I can't do so many of the things. I try to put forth my best effort, but I can't do it. But I'm getting closer, and I'm recognizing that more and more. In some of the stretching, I'm touching my toes when I've never been able to touch my toes since I've been heavy, and especially not recently. I'm touching the floor when we're doing some stretches. I couldn't do that before, and it gets me excited. These aren't goals that I had written down. They've been maybe in the back of my mind. Oh, I wish I could do that, or I can't wait till I can do that, or whatever the case may be. But when I accomplish them, oh man, I feel good. I feel so good that I've done, and it helps me recognize that my efforts that I'm putting forth are accomplishing something. I'm moving forward in something. I started doing those and seeing that I touched my toe a little bit and touching a little bit further and doing it for each of these things. The scale wasn't moving for a few days, but I was doing that when I wasn't doing it a few days ago. And so that's one of the reasons why I like these physical goals more than I like the scale, because the scale, the scale lies sometimes. The scale is different sometimes, because sometimes you're gaining muscle. Sometimes, we talked about this in the last video. So this is why I like these physical goals, because I think they show so much more, and other people can see them so much more. Because let's be honest, we often don't share openly what that scale says for us. I am now there's right now there's not a whole lot of subscribers and a whole lot of people watching these videos, but if it grows to something, I'm not going to stop doing that. So I'm going to be showing to anybody and everybody has the opportunity, has the ability to get on and see these. So it's a little scary sometimes, but I will tell you, we don't show those things all the time, but people see the differences in what we do. They see the differences in our face and our bodies and different stuff. They notice those things long before we see them. But then we start accomplishing these little bitty things, and then these bigger things, and then these bigger things. So I'm going to show you on the screen right now. You're going to see a list of a few of mine that I've written down, of my goals that I have. And I want you, go ahead and look at those, and I'll talk about some more of those. But these are some of the goals that I have. These are some of the things that I would like to reach. And some of them are short-term goals. Some of them are long-term goals. It just depends on how long it's going to take me to get those. And it may vary. And I may hit some of them quicker than I thought, and it may take me a lot longer to get to some of them than I thought I would be able to do. You may notice the first one on that list is my wedding ring. That one's a unique one for me, and that one hurts me quite a bit, and I can't wait till it changes. I haven't been able to wear my wedding ring for a little while. My wife could probably tell you how long it's been, and I could go get it resized, but in my mind it was always, I don't want to get it resized. I want to resize myself to get back my ring back on. But I wasn't doing that, but now I am, and it's getting closer. And the one thing my wife doesn't know is I try that almost every day. I go to put my ring on and just try to see if it'll fit, hoping that it's going to slide on one of these times. And it is going to slide on one of these times. And I will tell you, honey, it's closer. It gets past my knuckle. It's getting there. But that's it's my most important goal on my mind, that keeps me going right now is getting that back on. That's one of my most important things. But when I get there, I'm not stopping. I'm still going to keep losing weight. So that's kind of my spiel on goals. I mean, I could talk for hours about this and what goals I have. I have a whole bunch of them, but it just have small goals, have medium-sized goals, have large, lofty goals, and understand you're not going to hit all of them when you think you're going to. Understand when you don't hit them right away, or if you hit it and then you backtrack and you can't do it anymore. Understand that you're going to go through these series of ups and downs. You're going to hit plateaus where you stop for a while, and it's going to be, you're going to get distracted, and it's going to get hard at different times. When you're it's hard to start. Once you've started and you start seeing these things happen, it gets exciting because it's like, oh great, I'm losing, and then you stop for a while. But don't stop yourself. Keep working towards those goals because you can reach them. You will reach them. Do it with me. I love you. God loves you, and we'll see you next time.